Welcome to the Property Talk, where we make sense of the real estate industry. On set with me is a face is a face that when you see, we're actually talking relevance of our real estate industry. It's Mr. Vincent Agaba on set with me. Vincent, it's a pleasure having you on set.
Thank you, Christabel. It's always nice to have the conversation.
Vincent, I'd like us to go straight into where we are today when it comes to our real estate market.
Yeah.
We saw what happened to Kenya. We've seen what our investors coming in, even with their turmoil, even with their, where are we today, Ugandans, with our real estate?
Now, Christabel, thank you very much for keeping this conversation alive. I would like to tell you that if I look back 15 years ago, up to today, there has been progress. That's we cannot deny. Because if I look at 15 years ago, when, of course, these issues of estates started coming up, development planning in terms of cutting plots into estates and so forth, big contribution, a lot of numbers came in there. If you look at the mortgage uptakes in terms of mortgages from 15 years back today, the numbers have gone up and so forth. That withstanding, there, of course, have been a lot of challenges coming along. And of course, there are factors that we always should remember ourselves with in terms of urbanization and, of course, population pressure. Those two factors actually create a very big demand side of real estate. And of course, that, of course, stretches the supply on the other side. So the population has been increasing. Rural-urban migration has been increasing. And therefore, the need for housing becomes very substantial. So with the gains that have been made over 15 years back, of course, get absorbed with the numbers surging into urbanization, into population pressure. So it means we have been moving forward. But of course, there are issues that have been actually challenging us all over time. The cost of finance, the issues of zoning, and in terms of how the urban sprawl is happening. If you looked 15 years ago, in Tinda Chiwatule was almost the stop end towards development on that side. Now it has exploded almost up to Mukono.
Even Chiwatule Pod, so like you stay in Chiwatule?
Exactly. It is population pressure from 30 million Ugandans to 45. That coming into urbanization, when you were looking at Kampala at about 2 million, now it's about 5 million. So all these people need housing, all these people need shelter, all these people need places to play, bars, churches, schools, hospitals. Expansion goes ahead. But I can tell you, if you look at Kampala just from a naked eye, it has expanded. Many people have started putting money into real estate as an investment option.
If I'm to ask local versus foreign, who is investing more in our country?
I think it is local still. Most of them are local because you remember in the beginning, of course, we have had many guys also coming in from abroad. If you look at some of the developers in the condominium sector, they are largely foreign guys, or not call them foreign, but they are guys who come from other countries, neighboring, either Egypt or Middle East, coming in and building condominiums. But when you look at the specific apartment blocks, housing units in terms of bungalows and so forth, these are local Ugandans who have now realized that actually in the investment options, bonds, treasury bills, and others, real estate is also on the table.
Yes, I keep saying that.
Yes.
I keep saying real estate is the only kind of investment that is going to give you double returns after you make your return on investment.
Exactly. So people are buying shares in the companies, you see cross-listing, listing in terms of the capital markets and so forth, but real estate has become completely predominant. People buy land as part of investment. When they get money, they build units for rent. Others put up blocks of apartments for rent. Along those roads, you see people turning their garages into shops. Arcades are coming in. So there is a lot of interest in our real estate. And what that makes it that real estate has become an investment decision, both domestically and foreign. All that is real estate. So people invest either into accommodation for Airbnb or for recreation activities. That is real estate. It's a built environment. So there's a lot of spectrum, and that is not only limited to Kampala. Spread it all over. Go to Fort Portal, come to Jinja, go to Gulu, and so forth. As infrastructure is being developed, the roads are getting in, power is being extended, water is being expanded into neighborhoods, housing gets done. When universities opened somewhere, Makerere, actually a business school, opened that Nakawa area. Hostels and everything got there. So if you look at the beginning and look at 15 years back, we have moved. Where it is now, of course, real estate has cycles. There are recessions, there are depressions, and so forth. But it's the only actual investment whereby it can withstand those.
Yes, that's what I say.
It goes down, it finds it standing.
It finds it standing back. Currently, real estate is like the US dollar right now. Initially, we used to be afraid of the dollar because it had its kind of just drop, peak randomly. But for the last 3-4 years, the dollar has been stable. And that is how the real estate industry is currently.
Bring a yen to eat, bring whatever to eat, bring a euro to eat, it remains in there.
Yes.
So yes, we can debate day and night. The dollar remains a very major currency for trade. So it's the same thing with real estate in my view. Now, when we look at it at today, of course, we find it as a buyer's market.
Yes. If you look at the real estate market currently today, this is what's happening. Yeah. There's not been so much revenue out into the economy for free flowing. So properties have been a bit on the end, on the tight of the end market when it comes to selling or buying properties. However, rentals are still doing fine.
No, rental is stable.
Rental properties are very stable.
Let me tell you.
They're more than stable. They are picking up.
Christabel, when it comes to renting, it is a survival. It is not a choice. Why? Because at the end of the day, if anything is done and dusted, you have to have a roof on your head.
True.
You can have 1 meal in a day. You can put on 2 dresses or 1 dress in a day. You can have 1 pair of shoes. But I can assure you cannot sleep outside for a night or 2 nights.
But do you think also the percentage, mortgage percentage rate is also bringing in the issues?
Yes, of course there is interest rates. Interest rates are there. The answer, Christabel, is true. But what we have to be concerned about is to understand also the mortgage product. For example, we have the biggest and oldest housing finance bank, which is a mortgage bank in this country. But if you go in there, you find that actually you have the traditional mortgage product, you have the micro housing finance product, and you have, for example, the incremental housing product. Now, the point is what we call financial literacy also needs something to be done. Because if you're going to invest in real estate, financial literacy is very critical because it's all about the finance side of the business. So if you don't know at what level in those products to play, then you will start saying that actually it's expensive to get mortgage. But the same person who is saying it's very expensive for mortgages, they are going for a business loan. So I would encourage everyone else who wants to invest in real estate. It's not about hearing that mortgage is expensive in terms of interest rates. It's about going in deep as how you are also going to do your own borrowing for any other purpose, whether it's a salary loan, whether it is a business loan, whether it is any other loan. It is the same method. I can assure you, Christabel, in this country, people take loans.
True. Yes, they do.
Then why are they saying mortgage is expensive? It is because housing is a long-term investment.
They don't look at it from that aspect.
Exactly. So people want to invest in things that actually unlock cash flow quickly.
Yes.
So I borrow 200,000, I make tea, and I sell it, I'm seeing a return the next day.
The next day.
But real estate, you're saying I'm going to borrow 300 million shillings for 20 years, but that house will have appreciated almost 10 times
the money you borrowed.
So the point is, I think, financial literacy and calculations.
Mr. Vincent, I'm going to have to call us to an end for today, but I want us to continue this because this is very informative. And to you, the audience out there, I know this Sunday you're seeing Mr. Vincent and you're saying next Sunday what we're going to be seeing, but I'd like us to still host you next Sunday on the show. So, Mr. Vincent, it's a pleasure having you on set.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for always informing our audience. You break it down to the smallest bit of it all.
Thank you very much, Christabel. I'm happy to have been here.